藏传佛教主要讲研究的最主要的体系叫闻思修，就首先在老师那里听闻，然后去进行思维，就是再继续修持，所有的教育体系就不离开这个。
Well, in Tibetan Buddhism, the unique feature is about listening, contemplating, and meditating. So first of all, you need to listen to a certain teaching under a teacher, and then you reflect on it, you contemplate on it, and in the end, you put it into practice.
那么听闻，就一定要寻找一个非常合格的、具有法相的这么一个老师，而且，所听的法，如果是声闻乘的、大乘的或者密乘的话，那每一个老师都有他的标准，或者说是他的资格和一系列的条件。
Well, for the first step, you need to listen to the teachings. And well, in this process, it's very important that you listen to the teacher under a very qualified and a very good teacher. So there are certain criteria for different teachers, both in the Hinayana vehicle and in the Mahayana vehicle and and in the Vajrayana. So there are different criteria in each vehicle for the teachers.
而且佛教的这种听闻，如果没有去很好的去学习，听闻，那就不会变成一个真正的佛教徒。因为大家都知道，世界上的任何一个学科，如果没有依靠老师的知识，你自己再聪明，你看的书再多也，实际上是掌握不了，就是它的最好的诀窍。
Well, for the Buddhism, they really emphasize a lot about listening to the teachings. And if you have not listened to the teaching under a teacher, and then you will not become a real or authentic Buddhist. So similar is that for sometimes in our worldly knowledge, it's also the case that if you do not learn the worldly knowledge under a teacher, you only read the books by yourself, then it's also really hard for you to master all aspects of the worldly knowledge.
如今不管是东方的人还是西方的人，很多人呢对藏传佛教有好奇，有些是可能比较盲目的，有些是真正想获得了一些智慧和真理。
Well, nowadays, no matter in the Eastern world or in the Western society, lots of people have been very curious about the Tibetan Buddhism. Some of them are really blind, but for some of them, they really get wisdom from Tibetan Buddhism.
这是什么原因呢？我自己认为呢，有些是可能是比较迷茫的一种追求，就是比较感性的这些人不讲什么理由，就是只有拼命的去追求。但大多数是，也许是他真的是懂到了一些其中的深邃的意义。
Why? I think the reason is that for one group of people, they really have blind faith, so they just very emotional and they try their best to seek something. But there is another group that they are very rational, that they can really find the wisdom behind it and they get a benefit from it.
你们可能很多人都去过藏地。现在在世界上比较完美的保存，所有的医治老师的这样的一种方法呢，应该是在这个藏传佛教当中有非常完整的一个体系。
Well, maybe for lots of you, you have the chance to visit or go into Tibet, and in Tibetan Buddhism, the way for relying upon a guru or relying upon a teacher is preserved, complete. So in Tibetan Buddhism, it is have a complete knowledge of how to rely on a teacher.
有时候我觉得现在我们这个西方高等大学，就都什么大学啊、研究生啊、博士啊这样的这个大学期，这样的这种学习体系呢。非常像是我们现在藏传佛教的一些特殊的医治老师的方法。
Well, I feel that nowadays in some Western universities and in the academic field, we have the undergraduates, we have the master students, we also have the PhD students. So this kind of academic system, sometimes I believe that this is very similar in Tibetan Buddhism, that how we rely on a spiritual guru or spiritual teacher.
为什么这样讲呢？因为其实在藏地所谓的传承，就一个老师有没有资格给别人传呢？实际上他有一定的条件才可以传的。如果他没有这个条件呢，不管是你讲的再好，都不允许给别人传达。
The reason is that in Tibet we pay really attention, emphasize a lot about the long or the reading transmission or the or this kind of transmission. So basically, if the teacher is qualified, only he gets the transmission, he is qualified to give the teaching. If he does not have the transmission of this, no matter how beautiful he can teach, but he is not qualified enough to give the teaching.